Hey, what's going on, guys? Lag here, and thank you for joining my channel today for a Neo build video. Alright guys, without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. Bear in mind, guys, you do need to play this game quite a bit. You want to get some farming in. You do not necessarily have to have all ethereal items on your build, as I have right now. I just play the game a lot. You can use this build with divine items, but I believe you'll get the max benefit with all ethereal items, as myself, as you'll see here. Except one item I'm using, which is a charm that's green, because I can't find that one roll I'm looking for on a ethereal charm. But anyway, guys, let me go ahead and get right into it. So on this build I'm rocking, guys, I am rocking 5-piece Susano. I'm rocking 4-piece General of Kagetsu armor. I'm rocking the Hino Ima Kabuto, which is also a Susano piece. And I'm rocking 3-piece Tetsunashi. So let's go ahead and go back up top, guys, to start off with some of my rolls I'm using on this build. So before I actually get into my rolls, in case you guys don't know, with 5-piece Susano, you get the 17.8% strong attack damage, which is actually very good. A lot of guys that use living weapon builds use Susano. And I kind of crafted this build to be not so focused on, just all-time living weapon build. You kind of get the best of both worlds out of this build. But anyway, on my Odachi, the Bloodstained Cleaver, the reason I like using this cleaver is because of that burst damage you get on that first hit when you go into combat, which gives you 15% damage with enemies that have full health. I also like to use the status augmentation for paralysis, because my build also revolves around paralysis, the Ninjutsu buff. My rolls here I'm using is Change to Attack Strength, Familiarity Damage bonus A, of course. I like to use close combat damage, give me that nice 20% damage bonus. And for your skill damage, guys, you do not necessarily, if you are an Odachi user like myself, you do not necessarily need to use Moonlit Snow. If you prefer another skill, you can use another skill of your choice. The second weapon that you do need to use to make this build work effectively is the Shikishu Kazusada Odachi. And that is because this is a gear piece, which gives you this 4-piece bonus with the General of Kagetsu armor. The reason I like to use this armor also, guys, is due to the fact that if you pay attention at the bottom right there where it says the 4-piece bonus you get, which is called status ailments, that's because anytime you quote-unquote get set on fire, get poisoned, any sort of ailment you suffer, you get a damage buff. And if you notice on some of the stages where you're dealing with like poison and the mud, the stench, that's a constant damage buff for you as long as you are moving. And that's one of the reasons I enjoy using the General of Kagetsu armor. Anyway, the rolls I have on this, it doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure you have this sword on your belt to get the bonus buff. For your rifles, you can use either a bow or cannon. It doesn't matter as long as it's Susano, if you choose to use this build identically as mine. As you can see, my rolls here, these are just to my preference. One roll that I'm using also on one of my weapons, guys, I'm not still sure if it works the way it used to back in the day, but equipment damage bonus would stack as long as it was on one of your rifles. This is a really old rifle. Like I said, I've been playing this game for a very long time, so I just never rolled that anymore. I just always left that as is. Alright. And for my Hino Ima Kabuto, I like to use bonus Absorbing Arita, which gives me the increased attack. Bonus for Absorbing Arita. And it gives me the increased attack bonus. So as you're absorbing Amrita from enemies, you're constantly buffing yourself up. And if you notice in the gameplay earlier, when I said that I would not buff myself, I didn't actually. I just had my build set up that way. I didn't actually manually use any of my Omnio or Ninjutsu skills. The way I have my build set up, I'm constantly buffed, even though I didn't actually, you know, hit the button to buff myself. My rolls are as such: Amrita earned, weight reduction attack, and of course, you get the close combat attack when the enemy is paralyzed, and you want to make that a Susanoo piece. For my Tatanashi, I'm using reduced damage from attack, critical, and this is for if I decide to go into living weapon stage, I can get that little extra, you know, damage reduction. I use, you don't have to use unlimited Ninjutsu, you can use whatever you want. Try to make sure you get attack on all your pieces. I like to use no guard break because sometimes when enemies are shooting at you, especially yokai with the cannons or the humans with the cannons, if you block, sometimes if you block too much, if you're not using this bonus, you'll actually go into a guard break. With me using that stat, I don't ever suffer actual guard break where my character, you know, try to catch his wind and whatnot. And again, my other stat I like to use is bonus when surrounded, increase attack. And on the gloves, I really got lucky with these gloves, guys. I can't tell you how good of a roll these gloves are. It came with the attack bonus of 98, and Rita earned, or whatever your choice is. A limited Ninjutsu, you don't necessarily have to use that. You can use whatever you want. I also like to use increased attack and defense for Kato, because that's my spirit I use. That's my choice. And I like to use damage bonus armor, less armor as well. And again, for the pants, you want to make sure you get attack rolled on those pants. I actually like to use a V evasion key usage because I find myself in some situations when I'm fighting certain bosses rolling a lot, and that does seem to help out. So another catalyst for this build, if you decide to go into living weapon stage, guys, or for that matter any living weapon, is you want to make sure you have tenacity, because when you're using bleaching talisman, which is also on my build, that will keep you from dying. It'll just allow you to go all the way to low health and you won't actually wipe. And again, I'm also using the bonus for status element suffered, which is another bonus that I put on the same gear piece I'm using that gives that bonus, which is, you know, to increase attack as well. And also for my my boots, I'm using the Rita earned this again. In those situations where you happen to just run out of key completely, I like to use 0 key bonus, so you can get that bonus proc. And the other perk I'm using under 0 key bonus, guys, is I like to use bonus after purification. I actually use this technique a lot, and if you again play with me before and you ever notice me hitting the ground trying to get rid of the yokai rounds, it's due to this bonus that you get for getting rid of those rounds. I don't know actually how long it lasts on your you know, on your you know, effective status at the moment, but I just get in the habit of doing it all the time. You don't necessarily have to play like I do. I just, you know, I just do it all the time. And again, you want to have attack rolled as well. Another bonus that came with these boots that I didn't have to roll is the increased attack critical, and that's for when I do happen to go into living weapon stage. And again, guys, for your charms, if you can, you want to try to make sure you get yokai close combat damage on your charm. And this particular charm is more designed to help me proc paralysis due to the fact that I have it on the bottom. I couldn't find another charm with status ailment augmentation because I'm only using this one at the moment, and still to this day, as long as I've been playing this game. Technically you can use any charm, Yasakani, as long as you get, you know, at least the close combat damage for the yokai, and of course you're going to get your set bonus, which is -1 and whatnot. If you, like I said, if you decide to use my build step by step and you want to go to the paralysis route as well, yeah, try to go ahead and get yourself a charm with, you know, the status ailment augmentation for paralysis, and preferably with close combat damage. Another charm I like to use, again, this is to help my living weapon side of the build. Again, close combat damage. I'm using living weapon attack enhancement, Amrita earned on yokai. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly like this, guys. But the 2 stats you definitely want to use if you decide to go, again, copycat of my build. You want to use the close combat attack paralysis, of course, for enemy paralyzed, and again, close combat damage for yokai. Those are definitely the 2 important stats, along with living weapon enhancement. And for my Omnio and Ninjutsu, I'm just using the, you know, Tarnished Talisman, Leeching. Of course, you want to use quick change. I like to use Super. And this is for my paralysis side. I like to use the Medusa powder. I like to use this for the big guys that like to walk around with the Cyclops looking eyes. And a lot of times, if I can, if I'm playing with somebody, if they don't hit them, I can get behind them and one-shot them. And I also use the paralysis troopers to help me in certain situations proc paralysis on certain enemies that kind of run too fast, like those yokai with the Kursura Gamas. They are really annoying. And I also like to use the Kikai Talisman, which is also something that helps me automatically get rid of yokai realms if you do not know how to do the Ki Pulse. But I've gotten pretty good with the Ki Pulse, so the Kikai Talisman, you know, that could be actually preference. You don't have to necessarily use this, but I just do because I'm always focusing on getting rid of yokai realms when they're on the ground. And you don't necessarily have to use spirit stones if you don't like to go into, you know, you can put whatever here. You don't have to have the spirit stones here if you don't want, you know, but it's for convenience if you do want to go into living weapon stage. And also you want to make sure to get that constant bonus when absorbing Amrita, you want to make sure you're using the Extraction Talisman and your Placides Talisman, which helps increase the multiplier for the Amrita absorb. And with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it for the build. Again, like I said, if you're not an Odachi user, you do not necessarily have to use the Bloodstained Cleaver. But if you are an Odachi user, then you should really like this build. As you saw earlier in the gameplay I was showcasing to show you the damage potential. But technically, the one Odachi you will need to use, I keep saying that, you do need to use this one at least. But for this stat right here, it doesn't have to be an Odachi. It can be weapon of choice. Alright. Well, guys, I hope this build helps you guys. I won't say it's the best build ever, but it has carried me a lot, you know, through enemies. You know, I can pretty much just play the game with, you know, ease. I can do a lot of damage. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to brag, but I enjoy the build a lot. It's my favorite build. So, but hey, guys, if I was able to help you, you know, please stick around for future builds. I do intend to cover Nioh 2 as well. And if you guys would like to see any other builds I have, I can show you guys some other builds besides this one that I normally play with. And without any more to say, guys, I'll just go ahead and wrap it up here, and I'll check you guys out later.